The coronavirus and residence permits based on employment. Hello, my name is Aylin and I'm a lawyer at HI Law Firm. I'm here today to give some insight into the coronavirus and how it might affect those of you who have residence permits based on employment in Sweden. The first thing to remember is that transparency is key. If anything has changed in your employment or your employment contract, the best first step is to notify the migration agency about it. The second thing to remember is that the migration agency always makes individual assessments. So although we have general rules, these general rules are applied to the specific cases and the individual scenarios of each and every one of your cases. The third thing to remember is that the migration agency makes overall assessments. So even if one specific detail in your employment has altered, this doesn't necessarily jeopardize your employment as a whole. The overall assessment is important to remember. Now, there are no specific rules at the moment in regard to the possible consequences of the coronavirus in regard to any kind of residence permit. But we do have some general guidelines that we can go by. There are three general scenarios that can happen surrounding the coronavirus at the moment. So the first thing is that an individual is laid off. They lose their jobs. If you find yourself in this situation, remember that you have 3 months from the final day of your employment to find new employment, hopefully within the same sphere of your former employment, and then you make a new application of a residence permit based on employment, based on that job. The second scenario that can happen is that your employment gets reduced in hours. Now, what you need to remember here is that the core scenario, the core thing that the migration agency focuses on is the collective agreement. Now, if your employment has been reduced in hours, but it still conforms to the collective agreements which it is based on, then you should be fine. That is what the migration agency focuses on in their assessments. So the minimum salary is 13,000, but you need to look at the specific collective agreements to your profession. The third thing that can happen is that something changes in your working conditions, something changes in your contract. Now, because this is so specific, because it is completely based on what this change is, we advise you to give us a call or write us an email so that we can look at the specific case that has happened. Because the reason for this is that this change that has happened might jeopardize your employment when you're applying for an extension of this residence permit later. So don't hesitate to contact us. We're here to help, and take care of yourself. See you later.